Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, and I've been with them for a long time. BetterHelp is an online platform where we found that you can effectively communicate with your therapist. Now, you begin by filling out a questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And if that match isn't ideal for you, you can certainly make an adjustment there. Now, you're going to be encouraged to journal, and also they have the availability for group therapy on a wide array of topics, and I really like that. So as the need exists, go ahead and take the necessary steps to get the help that you need. And just know that BetterHelp has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so it indeed is a platform you can trust. There's a link below the video that will take you there. Hey, Team Healthy, my able assistant Gus and I welcome you to this next episode in our Narcissism Is series, where we're going to be talking about some of the core ingredients of narcissism that you won't necessarily find discussed a lot in the textbooks. But I'm drawing upon many years of experience in working with these individuals, and we can say that there are so many aspects to the pattern of life that we call narcissism that we need to be aware of so that you don't get caught in that person's snares. Now, today I want to begin with you with a bit of an honesty check. I want you to ask, have you ever indulged in selfish thoughts at times? Are you sometimes too stubborn to the point that it leads to you coming across as too overbearing or controlling? Do your opinions sometimes override your tolerance or your acceptance of other individuals? Have you kept secrets even when it might not really be necessary? Have you shown insensitivity toward someone? Has anger at times been misguided from you toward other individuals? Now, if you're alive and breathing and have red blood, then the answer is, yeah, that's happened. What I'm describing here is part of the dark side of each personality. I wish that I could say that every one of us has the potential to be error-free. We don't do anything wrong. And yet, honesty says, no, there are moments when I'm not at my best, and there are moments when some of these elements sneak out. Now, another question is, as you examine yourself, and that's no small assumption, are you willing to call yourself out when you see yourself being less than ideal? And healthy people will say, well, yeah, as I look at those things that I just described, I don't want to be that kind of a person. I want to have an ongoing awareness that there are choices and then consequences to those choices, and I want to choose the things that are going to take me down the healthy path. You realize that you could always feed your dark side if that's what you're inclined to do, but then the question comes, well, why would I want to do that? And you move in the direction more towards conscientiousness, which is a very rich and meaningful word. Now, enter the narcissist. Now, this is where we come into a classic differentiation between light and darkness. Something inside of them says, well, I don't feel the need to fit into anyone's system. I don't trust. Notice I can just stop right there. They'll say, I don't trust you. I don't trust. Mine is not a very inviting world. To me, it's a competition. You're either going to be the winner, you're going to be the loser, and I choose to win over you, and no matter the cost, I'm going to do it. And as a result, they give into the dark ingredients on the inside. They think to themselves, well, if I can carefully hide behind the false self that I construct, I can try to look good on the outside, then ultimately that can lead to me being in charge, and I can put on a good show, but ultimately it's still going to be about me, period, end of discussion. And as a result, they don't grow. They don't shed some of those tendencies that we all might have, but instead they build their entire identity around the negatives that are potential on the inside of each person. That's a pretty sad thing for us to say, but on a grand scale, these individuals become identified with dark elements. Now, let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about, and there are multiple indicators that says darkness has taken over. The brokenness wins. For example, the narcissist is going to come toward you with a very strong self-serving agenda. And basically, they're going to approach you and say, here's what I have to have from you. Here's how you're supposed to fit my script. Selfishness is very much in control or in charge. Also, they bring toward you a very strong utilitarian mindset. What are you going to do for me? And using others is what they are best at. They exploit and they figure out whatever you can give them. And then when they're done exploiting and using you, then off to the next victim. Now, in addition, this means that they're going to show disregard for your needs or your feelings or your interpretations or your preferences, your plans. It's like, didn't you get the memo? It's all about me. But they're very discounting in the way that they engage. Now, that having been said, they show no regard for the pain that they create in you as they go down their path towards darkness. Being unkind, even when kindness is possible, being unkind is more their first way of going with things. Now, sometimes they can give pleasant gestures for a fleeting while, but any kindness that you're going to see from them, unfortunately, is going to be phony. It's part of their manipulation. As a result, they have great difficulty coordinating with you. They can't come inside your system because you're supposed to conform to me. That's how they think. It's like, no, I want people to prop me up even as I'm going down a wrong path. And then because of that, they have a chronic tendency, and when I say chronic, that may not be strong enough, pervasive tendency to blame and shame. If there's something that goes wrong between you and me, thinks the narcissist, it can't possibly be my fault. You see, they hide behind their own shield of self-protection. So if there's a problem, it's you, close to 100% of the time. Now, that being the case, they're also strongly inclined to wear the victim's label. It's like, well, if something does come out of me that may not be appropriate, you know why that is? It's because you treated me wrong. You gave me bad karma or bad vibes, and I don't like that. And as a result, they are prone towards untamed anger. It can come out in a very unruly kind of way, and they're very punitive in the way that they manage their anger. You've heard me say in the past, and this is all in my Anger Games course that I have, anger can have a healthy function. And there are times when it can be utilized in a clean way as you stand up for yourself with assertiveness, but you do it with a sense of dignity. When the narcissist goes into their anger, there's absolutely no dignity there. There's no respect. It's very harsh and it's very mean-spirited. And the net result is, I don't care what happens to you. This is all about me and my power. I have to have dominance over you. Because of that, then you'll find that these individuals in their darkness are incapable of having constructive dialogue. They argue even when arguing is not necessary. They assume an adversarial style even when you say, hey, I just like to talk. Oh, you're coming against me, aren't you? And they can have that put up your dukes and fight kind of mentality before they even know if what you're saying is legitimate or not. On top of that, then they have lots of double standards. They'll call you out all day long about the things that you do that are wrong. But then if they do something wrong, it's like, well, you got it all wrong, and I have an excuse for this. There's rampant, pervasive dishonesty. And then, like I say, any signs of goodness that you might have from them is merely window dressing. It's part of their manipulation scheme. That's not a very pretty picture, is it? We have light and we have darkness. And again, I go back and say, those of us on Team Healthy, we say, I know what my possibilities are. And I know that being human means that you're capable of blunders and mistakes and insensitivities. I get that. But the number one thing that keeps a narcissist stuck in their darkness is their abject refusal to take responsibility for who they are. They have low self-awareness, and by the way, I'm not impressed when I hear people say, well, I'm a self-aware narcissist, and I'm going to explain to you all that you need to know about it. I just see that as part of their manipulation, but that's another story. They have low self-awareness because they have a very poor sense of self-examination. Now, repeatedly, you can think to yourself, well, I'd like to get these individuals to reform and to change and to get into a better space. But unfortunately, we'll have to realize in the vast majority of cases, darkness is fully in charge. Every now and then something happens where they move out of the dark into the light. But let's understand certain key points about the individual who's in this frame of mind. First, we recognize these are people that have an underdeveloped conscience. You look back and you can say, well, there's a certain kind of fixation that they have. They never learned how to develop healthy coping skills, and as a result, they never did go through healthy stages of maturation. At age 8, they build upon some mistakes they made when they were 4, and age 11, they get a little bit more mature, and in their adult years, they learn how to develop principles and standards and values. That doesn't happen. They're fixated in very childish kinds of reaction. They're reactors only, as opposed to having good, healthy plans. They can attach to you, but they attach to with all the wrong reasons in mind. And then also know that they thrive on your pleading. They thrive on your insisting kind of communication. Come on, you can do better. And they're thinking, oh, good, I got you going. And so as you try to help them through this, all they're going to do is turn it around into that competition that I mentioned. And then as a result, discard is inevitable. Collapse is inevitable. And guess what? It's going to be your fault, and it's going to be ugly. So I'm hoping you can see that we each have that question, that the time of decision between light versus darkness. And those of us who are trying to go into the healthy path say, well, I want to be the light. I want to have goodness and kindness and love, and I want people to know that when they're in my presence, they're in the presence of a safe person. The narcissist can think, nope, I'm not going to do that. Now, if they were honest, they would say, I'm too broken for something like that. But instead of saying that, all they'll do is they'll say, I'm just surrounded by a bunch of idiots. And my response to that is, never mind, but let's keep in mind, dark things are not going to identify me. They can sneak up at times, but I'm on to it, and my commitment says I want to have spiritual and I want to have psychological growth and groundedness. And to the narcissist, I'm simply going to say, I'm so sorry you're unable to join me. Now, like I say, in this Narcissism Is series, I'm hoping that we can give you some good insight about what you're dealing with. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do, and we'll keep more videos coming towards you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. Now, you know that, and so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know that I'm a huge believer in therapy. Obviously, I am. I gave my entire career to it. I'm a retired therapist now, but we do have a therapy resource for you if the need is there. Below, you're going to find the link to the people at BetterHelp.com. It's a whole team of licensed professional therapists. Please, as the need is there, get the help that you need. Somebody can be there to help you unravel all of this, and that can be so essential. Now, in addition, I would invite you to go to my website. It's an enormous website with lots of resources. You're going to see a tab on there that says courses, and I would invite you to look at that. We've got 4 major courses online and you can do it at your leisure. And it'll take a lot of work out of you. I put a lot of work into each one of them. We have anger games about managing anger correctly. This is me about setting boundaries. We have Ready, Set, Connect about what healthy connections look like, and Free to Be about surviving those who want to control you. Each video has at least 25 teaching videos and handouts, etc. Also, you're going to see another tab that says webinars, and I have 90-minute PowerPoint presentations under that, along with hundreds of articles and my book, so lots of resources. Okay, each one of us can have that moment where we can say, yeah, there's some darkness that can be on the inside of me, but then I want to keep a very bright light on my inner self so that I can remove that darkness and lean into the light. The narcissist says, oh, that scares me. I don't like that. It just, it blinds me. I don't want to go that direction. They're going to stay in their place, but I'm hoping you can decide, I don't want to live any other way except the way of decency. We here on Team Healthy, we stand for dignity, respect, and civility. And in my mind, and I hope you would agree with me, that's going to be the pathway that's going to lead you, hopefully, to long-standing and reliable internal peace.